So what is dry brushing? So dry brushing is the easiest way to put highlights on a miniature. And to do so, you need a big bead and a brush, a paper towel, and a model with a lot of texture on it. So like this, lots of texture, because that's where it shines. And then you start with a base coat, like a flat color. Black is perfect because it's going to show a big contrast. And then the lighter color that you're going to dry brush on top. So we're going to use Celestra Gray. Now, dip a little bit of that Celestra Gray in there with my big dirty brush here. And as the name suggests, it's a dry brush. It's important that your brush that you're using is dry. It's also important that your paint is not too thin. And then I'm going to use my little trusty paper towel, and I'm going to wipe most of my paint away until it no longer looks like I'm painting. It's a little... So you see, every time it leaves like big streaks, I don't want that. So I need to keep wiping it, and if I notice it's always on the same like side, oh, this is starting to look good. You see almost no streaks. There we go. And now we can go on top of our miniature. And what will happen is, because there's so little paint on there, it will only hit the raised areas. Now this is a very, very steep color transition because I want to showcase what it does. So you get like from black to like very light gray very fast, but you can do this with a lot more, you know, a lot less intense transition, you know, from black to dark gray, and then from my dark gray into this color. But for now, just to show you guys, this would also be again the basic of the slap chop. Like if you want to slap chop a mini, that's kind of where this thing starts. And so you do this, and then you can go against the grain. Is kind of easier. So every surface, like let's say the fingers, you want to go against it, so the fingers are lined that way. So I want to move my brush that way. That way I hit all the sides, right? And so it's pretty easy. It's pretty foolproof. And that's the thing. Like the two things that can ruin a dry brush is if you have too much paint on your brush, which we made sure to wipe thoroughly. And the second thing is if your paint is too wet. Like if you have like super liquid paint, it's not gonna work. And that's one thing that the dries from Games Workshop are really good. Like the dries, they are probably one of the most underused or the most specific range from Games Workshop, and people like don't like them because they're like, oh, this is dumb. But really, they make dry brushing foolproof. So I don't like the whole range, but all of the early colors, like the light gray, that's not one, but the light gray, like Terminatus Stone, I think, and then Longbeard Gray, and Necron Compound. Necron Compound is insane. It's like a light silver. They're really good because they basically take away one of the two things that you can mess up when you dry brush, because the paints are not liquid. They're like super hard. So they're perfect for dry brushing. They don't do anything else. Okay, so if you use Necron Compound, you can only dry brush with it. But it's the foolproof way to do it. And same thing, if you want to slap chop all of your miniature, because you know you watch that video and you think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you're right, you know, Rob's a fucking genius. And if you want to do that, well, you know, get yourself the gray, the dry gray, and then just like start hammering away. It takes away like so much of the... There's so little complexity, you just like strip it away completely when you do this. So it's a really good pickup. It doesn't do anything else, but what it does really, really well. So this is, you know, how to dry brush.